Hey guys, Ladarius Grimion here. I'm back with another video, and I really just wanted to take the time to talk about the coronavirus and how to deal with it, from a psychological perspective, and you can use that psychological perspective. You can turn that into practical steps to help you to help you better in the natural, if that makes sense. So yeah, the coronavirus, everybody's panicking, freaking out. Everybody's trying to deal with this situation. And I just thought it would be a good time to point out the value of the lectures I gave on personal growth. Choice, self-respect, humility. And why those things are so important during this time, mainly because, everybody's panicking. Everybody's worried right now. And, I think what we need more than anything right now is the right mindset, the right psychology to be able to handle this situation more effectively. Because there's this saying out there where when emotions are high, intelligence is low. And I believe that. So if we want to be more intelligent, if we want to make the right decisions, we've got to control our emotions, and we've got to see things from the right view. Does that make sense? So yeah. So what I'm going to be talking about here is how to deal with the coronavirus from a psychological perspective, and from a mental perspective, so that you can use this information and apply it to the physical and change your life and get better results and hopefully get through this crisis. So that's what I'm going to be talking about here. And obviously we should do the physical stuff like washing our hands, get some gloves, sanitize ourselves, make sure we're clean, and avoiding contact with people. We should do that stuff, obviously. So that's something we can do, right? At a bare minimum. But I'm really going to be talking about mindset here, and how everything I talked about in the previous videos, foundations of personal growth, how that applies to this current situation right now. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be getting into. And if you haven't seen those videos, just click on my channel and check them out. Check the playlist, go to the lectures playlist. You can watch them there. You can also, there should be a link below this video somewhere where you can watch it as well. But anyway, so getting on with this. So let's take a look at this right here. So I call this thing right here, you can see on the board, I call this the control seat. It's something I made, it's like a diagram I made. But basically, I call this the control seat. And the reason why it's called the control seat is because it allows you to see what is within your control and what is not. So if we look at this, I want you to imagine that this is you. You can see right here in the middle, you've got this stick figure, this stick man. And what this is supposed to be a person. This is a person. All right. So this is you right here. And then as we go without, you get these barriers right here. You can see right here we have green. All right. And what the green represents is things in your control, the things you can control. All right. So this is stuff in your immediate control. This is stuff you can take action on and change your life, because in order to change your life, you had to first take action. First you have to change your mind. All right, you change your mind, you think about something, then you take action, and that action you've changed will allow you to change your life. So change your mind, change your action, and then that action you change will change your life, basically. So the green represents action, things you can do, or things you can do that are in your control. All right. Now we move to this orange. You can see as the barriers continue, we move into the third barrier right here. And the third barrier is the orange. It turns orange. So this orange section right here represents influence. And this is going to be like your family, friends, media, potentially anything outside of your control, but things that can control you, not control you, but things that can influence you. This is influence, and that would be other people. That would be, media. That would be news. That would be, all of these things are influences. These are influences. So that's where, that's where influence comes from. But none of these people, our family, our friends, the news, they can't control us. They can't control us, but they can influence us, right? It's like, for example, I'll use an example. Like, we've got this stay-at-home order right now. Everybody has to stay at home. I mean, you don't have to stay at home. You could go out. Would you be at fault? Is it wise to go out? No, it's not. But can you go out? You can. So that's just the difference between influence and control, that no matter how much mankind tries to control one another, they will never be able to control mankind completely, because all mankind has an individual choice. What do we do with that choice? So influence, that's what this orange here represents, influence. The things that can influence us but can't directly control us. And so then we move to the red. You see the barrier continues, and we move towards the red right here. And the red is worry and fear. So the red is going to be worry and fear, and this is where, all the worrying is coming from, out of fear, out of panic. Basically, these things can be imaginations. These things can be anything, but it's basically worry and fear, and it's things beyond your control. Like the news, for example, because a lot of the things that happen on the news, we have no control over. Kind of like the coronavirus to a certain degree. How basically anything that brings you worry and fear, and anything that's not necessarily something, it could be something intangible, for example, something that's not here, but you worry about it in your mind. So it could be an imagination or something of that sort, because, as they say, there's this saying, false evidence appearing real, that's fear. So yeah, and to a degree, I can kind of agree with that. A lot of fear and worry is false evidence appearing real. It's just our mind in the constant state of fear and worry. And so what's the whole point of this? Why did I create this? And by the way, I almost forgot to tell you guys, but if you want to get this seed, I highly recommend you get it. There will be a link below to the website where you can go download this, and I'm going to show you how to use it, but I recommend you get this. But why did I create this? Well, I created this because it allows people to see where their focus is going. It allows people to see what they're focusing on. Are they wasting time in their life on things that cannot be changed? Are you spending your time focusing on things that you can impact, that you can change in your life? Or are you spending your time worried about friends and family and influence? Or are you spending your time worrying about imaginations and fears and what ifs? What if this happens? What if that happens? Where's your mental energy going? What are you thinking about the majority of the time? Because if you're focused on worry and fear, then that's just going to expand, and that's what you're going to get, worry and fear. If you focus on influence and friends and family and what other people are doing, then you're just gonna, focus on them and not yourself. But if you focus on solutions, then you will find more solutions. You will have more solutions. If you focus on what you can control, you will have more control. So that's what this is about. And how it will work, how it works is you would think hard to yourself. What can I control in my immediate life today? What can I do to make things better for my life? I have goals. I want to live a good life. What steps could I take to ensure that I move towards my goals? Even if it's just 1% or, just a small margin, I move towards my goal. I take a step every single day. What could I do to ensure that I do that and that I get ahead in life, that I become successful? Even if it's just a small percentage every day. So what you would do you will put those things in these sections right here. You see, it's kind of like a pie, but these sections, you will put something. You know, it might be, for example, learn about SEO, right? Or learn about business, or learn about investing, or learn about something, or find another job, or self-education in some sort, right? So basically, it's all about seeing the steps you could take, knowing yourself, knowing your goals, where you want to go in life, seeing the steps you can take, and then putting them down, writing them down in these sections right here, so that you can find, so you can see what you want to focus on, so you can focus on things that are going to get you ahead. Because so many people mentally are focused on worry and fear. They're focused on things beyond their control, and they don't understand that the only way their life is going to change is through action. It's taking control of your life. In order to take control of your life, you got to know what to focus on. You got to know what's worth it and what's not. Because if you focus on negativity, all you're going to get is negativity. You focus on getting results, then you're going to get results. You want to focus on getting results, and that's what this green is all about. So, it's about seeing things in your life that you can control, and take control over those things immediately. Because, time is valuable, and we can get a lot of things back, but one thing we cannot get back is time. So we don't want to waste our time. So it's important that we know where our time is going. Am I focused on fear and worry? Am I being preoccupied with what ifs and imaginations that don't really exist? Or am I focused on what my family is doing, what other people are doing in the news, what other successful people are doing? Or am I focused on what's going on in my world? Because the only thing you can control is your world. Because as I said before, all mankind has a choice. And if all mankind has a choice, then we cannot really control mankind. We can influence them. Right here, orange. We can influence them, but we cannot control them. And so that's what this represents. Control, right here, green. Influence, orange. Worry and fear, worry and fear, red. So that's what this represents. And how does this apply to our daily lives right now in the crisis we're in? Well, this applies because, a lot of people are panicking. A lot of people are, occupied with this situation, and a lot of people are, stressed about it. So the first thing to do is to calm down, take a deep breath, understand that, this is the reality of the situation. This is happening. But at the same time, we have to decide what we are going to do about it as individuals, because that's what counts. Forget about what's going on in the news. Forget about everything that's happening outside of your immediate control. Forget about everything that's happening outside of your world. And focus on your world. Focus on what's going on in your world. Focus on, keeping yourself sanitized and clean and washing your hands. And, taking care of yourself first. And then, maybe you can start to expand this and include other people into that. But before you can take care of other people, you got to first take care of yourself. That's just the fact. You can't give something you don't have, If you're sad, you can't make other people happy. If you're poor, you can't, make someone rich. So in order to help others, you got to first help yourself. You have self-respect. We talked about that in the lectures. But, that's extremely important, that we focus on what we can control. And also understand that in the midst of a crisis, there is opportunity. When things like this happen, there is opportunity. So in the midst of a crisis, there is opportunity. You can't just see, one side of the coin. You got to see both sides of the coin. You have to see both sides of the equation, right? So in the midst of a crisis, there is opportunity. So instead of panicking and worrying, instead you should be asking yourself, okay, what can I gain from this situation? what can I get from this crisis? How can I position myself to not only survive but thrive? And this is good, to a certain degree. This crisis is kind of a good thing because it's allowed people to see that, to focus more on survival and not just thriving. We got so caught up in thriving and trying to succeed in life and gain success and achieve goals. But before we can even thrive, we have to first survive, right? We got to take care of ourselves. And so this crisis, everybody's just thinking about surviving right now. And so we go back to our roots right there. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. But, so we have to focus on what we can control. There are things you can do. There are steps you can take to get ahead in life. So you have to focus on what you can control. You never want to focus on fear and worry or influence because these things are beyond your control. All right. The farther away you get from the green is the farther away you get from control, from action. All right. And when you get out here in the red, then you're really in trouble because it's chaos right here. This is fear and worry. This is every imagination, everything that could go wrong. This is where this is. And so what you want to do with this is you want to write down everything that's preoccupying your mind in these boxes. All right. If you had to create some more, you do that. But you want to write down everything in your mind and you want to sort it out. You want to sort out everything you're doing, everything you're not doing, and really see where am I going in life? Where do I want to go? And what's going to get me there? And you want to put all of that right there. You want to have all your solutions in the green. All right. You want to put your friends, family, and all of those people in the influence section, because at the end of the day, as much as you love your friends and family, you can't control them because they're individuals too. So you put them in the influence section. Be careful who you let influence you. Be careful what you listen to, because it can affect you in the wrong way. It can affect you in the negative light, in a negative way. So you have to be careful. You have to be careful who you have in your inner circle. Be careful with family. Be careful with friends. Be careful with everything. Be careful with what you watch. Be careful with what you listen to, because these things have an effect on us. They have an effect on us. So we have to be careful about who influences us, because influence is a form of power, and people who have influence over you have power over you to a certain degree. So we have to be careful with that. Like for example, this stay-at-home order that we have. It's a form of power, right? We have to obey the rules. Okay, so that's influence. And then we have right here fear and worry. And this is just imagination. This is false evidence appearing real. This is anything that is that's not really real, but you worry about, you fear about it. But I want to ask yourself this: when you're worrying about something, when you're fearing about something, ask yourself, what can I do to change that situation? What can I do to solve that problem or that thing that I'm worrying about? If the answer is I don't know, or there is no answer to that question, there is no solution to that problem, you should not be worried about that, because it's something beyond your control. And if it's beyond your control, worrying about it and spending your focus and time on that mentally is just going to bring you more stress. So you have to actually channel your mind to focus on things that are worthwhile. And that's your inner circle. That's what's up here. That's focusing on solutions. You don't want to focus on problems. You want to focus on solutions. So in this crisis, instead of, worried about fear and all of this, we need to be focused on solutions. All right? Not the problems, the solutions to those problems. What we can do right now: stay at home like we've been ordered to. Stay at home, take care of, make sure we clean ourselves up, stay away from people, and, be wise in our spending so that we can hopefully come out of this thing, for the best. And then, you know, if you're really good financially, see if you can take advantage of the current situation. See if there's opportunities out there, like the stock market, for example, or, you know, business, for example, that you can get involved in, you know, to a certain degree. Right? Because, you know, there's opportunity out there. It's not just all bad. There's opportunity that comes with this. All right, so you want to focus on things you can control. So if you guys want to get this spreadsheet, then you can go to the website, and there will be a download. There will be a way where you can download this. It'll be a link below. You can download this, and you know, you can print it out however you want to do it, but print it out some way or download it to your phone. However, but you use this, and then you just write down what's in your mind. You write down what's occupying your mind. And then you focus on these solutions. You focus on the things that are going to get you results. And you ignore everything else. And what most people don't realize is that as you do this, as you begin to work on yourself, you begin to influence those around you. You begin to influence your influencers. You begin to influence your friends and family for the better. Why? Because when you become better, your family becomes better. When you become happy, your friends and family become happy. When you become rich, your friends and family become rich. So, you know, you can't give what you don't have. So you have to first take care of yourself. And as a result of taking care of yourself, that'll eventually transfer and influence your friends and family to do the same. Because if you're getting results, they're going to notice, and they're going to pattern their life after you. And then it just continues on and on and on. From generation to generation. Before you know it, things have completely changed. But everything starts with us. You know, we're always looking without, but we need to be looking within more than ever before. We need to look within ourselves, because if enough people do this, if enough people take ownership of their lives and take control over their lives, and seek to solve problems and for their own selves, then eventually the whole world will be doing this, and then suddenly we won't have as many problems anymore because everybody's solving the problem, right? Make sense? So this is what we need to be doing more than anything. We need to focus on what's going to get us through this crisis, what's going to help us get to the other side. And it's not focusing on some external source. It's focusing on the internal. It's focusing on what we can do in this situation. And I think that's what we need to be focusing on. I hope this has helped you. Again, if you want to download this, there will be a link below where you can download it and check this out. But again, the only thing we have control over are the choices we make. Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we respond to it. How are we going to respond to life? Are you going to have courage? You know, fear versus courage. You know, what is courage? Courage is the ability to do something that frightens one or that scares one. You know, it's not about, you know, being fearless. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the mastery of fear. So what we need right now is courage to make good decisions. And we need to start ourselves out mentally so that we can, because if our emotions are high, our intelligence is low. So we need to regulate our emotions so that we can make better decisions. And we need to have courage, and we need to make the right choices so that we can get solutions. And we need to do this collectively, as individuals first. And then by doing this as individuals, then before you know it, we can influence the world for the better, and then the world will change. So there you go. I hope this has helped you. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Also, don't forget to go to the website below and download the PDF file so you can get this. All right, and it's going to look way better than this. I just draw this out, sketch this out on this dry erase board, but it's going to look way better than this and way more. It's going to look better. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, and take care.